Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and I'm collaborating with Paradox Interactive and Triumph Studios to bring you this overview of the Golem update that is coming alongside Empires and Ashes. These patch notes are gargantuan, so I'm going to be highlighting the most impactful changes, such as new features, mechanics overhauls, new content, and significant balance changes. To give you an idea of the scale of this patch, it took me 45 minutes just to read the entirety of the patch notes. So buckle in and I'll try to give you the gist. The first new feature is the Item Forge. Unlocked after building the Item Forge city structure in your Wizard Tower, you can disenchant items to gain Binding Essence, which is a new resource used to forge items. You can custom build the perfect flaming two-handed sword with extra critical hit chance, create shields that reflect damage, and make wands with special activated abilities. There's also a new society trait called Reclaimers based around making use of the Item Forge. I designed a hero's equipment form and skill set to show you the system pushed to its limit. Meet Emperor Hit Me. Thanks to his incredible equipment, he has an 80% evasion chance against ranged attacks, meaning enemies have to fight him in melee to defeat him. It just so happens, this is exactly what he wants. Not only do melee attackers have to chew through his hit points, armor, and retaliation attacks, every time Emperor Hit Me is hit in melee, he has a chance to apply 2 stacks of poisons and 1 stack of stunned. Truly a man to be feared. Once per turn, when he's hit, he also gains a stack of regeneration. So in order to kill him, you are racing against the clock. This example is only scratching the surface of what this new feature offers. The level of customization and gameplay options here is staggering. The second new feature is War Coordination, which comes with changes to the mechanics and UI of free cities. You can now instruct your vassals to attack or defend locations and cities, spend Imperium to encourage them to carry out an offensive, and additionally units recruited through the Rally of Lieges can be instructed to join the next mission. Most importantly for our gold lovers out there, when your vassals pillage improvements, you as their overlord will collect the bounty and loot. So expect a lot more from your vassals with this patch. Form traits have been given a massive overhaul. Form traits are acquired through a point-buy system where each trait has a price ranging between 1, 2, and 3. When customizing their form, a player can spend up to 5 points. A huge number of traits have been changed significantly, alongside new traits being added. For example, Hideous Stench is a new trait that gives adjacent enemies a resistance and status resistance debuff. The level of customization available when building your faction just exploded, and there are practically uncountable combinations. Water gameplay has been effectively rebuilt from the ground up. You can now build farms, quarries, foresters, mines, and conduits on coastal provinces based on their special features and terrain. Speaking of terrain, there are new coastal features, such as the mangrove forest and the sunken ruins. Instead of building warships, you now embark your land armies to act as your navy. Additionally, the Seafarer Society trait has been reworked to accommodate these changes. Underground passages can spawn in water tiles connecting the sea with underground rivers and lakes. There are also 7 new water combat maps to discover while fighting on the seas. 2 new society traits have been added to the game. Alongside the aforementioned Reclaimers trait based around the Item Forge, the new Hermit Kingdom Society trait rewards factions who prefer isolation over having neighbours. Many society traits have been tweaked to fit into other new features, or rebalanced to make them more interesting to play, such as the Seafarer's trait for the water gameplay changes. Players can expect a lot of interesting choices at their fingertips when designing factions. When it comes to balance, the Golem update is no slouch. Tomes have received changes to both their spells and their units. Many cultures and cultural units have also received changes. There are too many changes to go over in this video. That is also true of the number of fixes to issues, bugs, and edge cases across the board, but I will highlight some interesting changes to the balance. Cavalry units no longer trigger animal kinship from the Tome of Beasts. The astral tomes of amplification and summoning have been swapped in their tiers, with changes to their costs, power level, and skills accordingly. Copper golems from the Tome of Enchantment count as non-magical units, meaning they will now use gold instead of mana as their upkeep. And the Tome of Transmutation has the Transmutation Circle special improvement, which can duplicate the effects of a magical material. In my opinion, the best way to experience the balance of a patch is through playing it, so you don't have to read the entire notes yourself, just get playing and try them out. General changes, updates, and improvements have been applied. No area of gameplay has been left untouched, from diplomacy, free cities, and heroes, to multiplayer, the Pantheon, and usability. Visuals and audios have also received some changes, alongside updates to a variety of UI changes and menu reworks that should make the game easier to play and more informative. The AI has been updated with new behaviors, priorities, and abilities. Combat has received some tweaks, in particular poison and bleed now being stackable debuffs. There's also new content in the Golem update, with 18 new war-related events and 6 war-oriented quests to appease the bloodthirsty warmongers among us. The Pantheon has been given a bunch of new cosmetic unlocks that completionists and customizers will enjoy getting their hands on. There are new combat maps for fighting outside of Ancient Wonders and when liberating occupied cities from enemy conquerors. That wraps up this overview of the Golem update. Please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos about Empires and Ashes. The next video will cover the changes that have happened since launch. I've been Potato McWhiskey and you've been a wonderful audience. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time.